Hi, budgeters and savers. Welcome back to Laura's Loose Change. Happy to have you with me today. Today is the day that I'm going to add up my change from my wallet. And also, I'm going to stuff the categories that my finished saving challenges are going into that are in here in my Be Jawsome bag. And also, we're going to be going over my budget plan for my next pay period. This is the end of my first month, like I said, of following this program or this method of savings and tracking my money. So, any and all feedback is welcome, any suggestions, and I'd appreciate you letting me know what you think. All right, so let's get started. Here is my change. This is my Penny a Day Keeps Debt Away book that I got from All Things Kimberly, West Virginia, WV there. So let's count how much change I have. Not as much this time as sometimes. Look, I actually got this Kennedy $50. It's a proof Kennedy $50. I got that in change somewhere. It's beautiful. I also do collect coins a little bit, so this will go in the bank. It's a little too roughed up. Anyway, what do I have? I have 50 cents, $1, 125, 130, 40, 50, 60, 165 here. So $1.65. So what I'm going to do is find $1.65 in this book. It's relatively empty so far, so I'm sure that's still available, and it is. It's in the month of June here. So I'm going to mark off this $1.65 box. And that will end up going into the bank. And there's another spot marked off. I'm really bad at coloring. I say this every time. Green, this kind of green is one of my very favorite colors. And I try to hang on to every bit of change that I get so that I can add it into this book and let it grow. So in the back of this book, I'm just going to put this paper in there so in case that marker is not dry. There. So the back of the book is an envelope. So I've been putting change aside into another container that I will roll up. I roll up whenever I have a roll's worth of that particular coin, and then it goes in the bank. But meantime, $1.65 goes in here. So far, I have $5, $6, $7, $8 in this envelope that I have swapped out for coins. So this later on will go into my other container, and we'll just keep letting that grow. At the end of, or whenever this is all finished, it'll save $667.95. I'm thinking about letting it grow to I don't know, maybe $25, and then pull it out and use it for some of the longer term savings challenges that I have, and to help build up my longer term savings. So that's that for the penny a day. Now, this is very exciting. I'm going to break open my Be Jawsome bag. And I do have a list here of the challenges I've completed. I completed 8 challenges in this past pay period. month for me. And they're all in here. And what I've done is I have written down how much each one was for. I saved a total of $221, which are going to go into these sinking funds. So that's what I'm going to do right now. This one was really cute. Saved $8. Is from Eva at Budget Your Life. And that is going into my gifts envelope. My gifts envelope is here. So I'm going to put another $8 in that, which will bring it to a total of, should be $49 in there. Today's the 11th of April, so bear with me with this. There's 8 here, and let's just make sure I do have the 49. Looks like 20, 40, 45, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that's great. I don't have any birthdays coming up until, I think, July now. So that will still get to grow. I have 2 adult sons and no grandchildren. So I don't really have a lot of family birthdays to save for. This next one was a tiny I finished from Dawn's Sunrise Budgeting. And that was $8. No, $246. And that is going to go into my Teresa envelope. Teresa is a friend of mine who is going to, she's a friend and mentor of mine in the dog world, and I've decided, we talked about it, if something happens to me, I need somebody to take care of my dogs. She's on board for that, and so I'm just putting some savings together in the event that that happens. So it's kind of like a dog emergency fund. So $6 is going in there. So that brings it to 27 in there right now, but I did also, well, we'll come back to that. So savings challenge, I'll count that at the end because this envelope is going to get more money during this stuffing. Alright, next I have this one from Sassy Ginger Budgets. It was $10, and that one's going into my personal envelope, which is empty at the moment. But once I actually do get paid, I haven't been paid yet, but it's coming on Monday, so that I've already budgeted it, and when I do get paid, there'll be more money in there for my wallet. So that's in my personal envelope. Next one is, this one was from Cash Budget Retiree, $25. Luck of the Irish to you. That one went to car maintenance, and I already stuffed that into the car maintenance envelope. And then another one from Cash Budget Retiree. This one was $33. 10 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, and 3. And that one is going, let's see, I decided to put 25 into the gifts envelope. The whole thing was supposed to go to gifts, but like I said, I don't have anything really coming up for that. I think I should have taken these all out, added them up, and done it all together. So I'm putting 25. Gifts in 25 into gifts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry you're going through all this, but it'll be helpful for me. So there was 49. 49 and 25 is 74. So this is nice because, you know, I'm a little bit ahead in this one now. So there should be 74, 20, 40, 45, 6, 7, 8, 9, 59, 69, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I like being ahead of the game here. So you can go back in there somehow. All right, you can stay there for now then. That's okay. Next one I have is also from Cash Budget Retiree. They came 3 to a page. This one is, oops, I forgot to do the rest of that other one. I'll get there. So 25 went to gifts. And then $8 is going into my home maintenance envelope. I do have some savings in the bank. So this envelope is empty at the moment. Well, now it has $8 in it, but it was empty because I've been working out of the, you know, savings that I have in the bank. But since I've been doing that, obviously I need to replenish. So now it has an envelope. Now we can move on to this one from Cash Budget Retiree. This one was $36. 25, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that one is going into towards medical. Plus 36. Now I'm going to have $49 in there. This one also gets dipped into for prescriptions and co-pays and that kind of stuff. So I had 13. I'm adding 36. So it now should have 49. A lot of ones. I'm going to be condensing this. 20, 25, 30, 35, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 49 in there right now. I really wish my fingers worked a little better. Getting there though. Getting there. Much better off than I was. All right, and then this one was a tiny, 2 actually, from Cash Money Budgets, little spaceships and planets, and that was $7. $7, and that is going into my games binder. So I'm just going to stuff that in there so that I can play games with that and roll it on over. And then the biggest one I had was this Shut the Shamrock. Shut the Box challenge from Save with Judy. And that saved me $96. And that, I've decided that 50 of it is going into my Teresa envelope. So, Teresa in here and is getting this 50. So that's going to now have 77. So she's getting that 50. Let's see if I can make sense of this. So I'm going to come in here and condense all of these. So now 50, 60, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. $77 for that. It's good to plan ahead for these things. She's wonderful with dogs, and I trust her completely with my dogs. So that is the eventuality plan with them. So then I have $46 left from that Shut the Box, and it's going into my games binder too. So I will just roll that into larger savings, you know, because I'm enjoying playing all these games. And, you know, I'm going to maybe having the long-term savings with all those bigger games. So now I have 20, 40, 50, 1, 2, 3, $53 that I can play games with and continue to save. So that was super fun. Thank you for bearing with me on that. And I can't wait to see what happens next month, because I already have some started. And I look forward to continue saving. All right, I had to step away. My dog was barking at somebody outside, so I just had to go make sure everything was cool out there. And that indeed was jawsome to empty this bag. I can't wait to put more stuff into it. Now, this part I'm nervous about because it feels funny to be sharing all of this. Look, I actually tracked all my spending. That's a god-awful mess. But it's very helpful to see some of the things that maybe slipped by me or I didn't, you know, pay attention to. So it's very helpful in figuring out what else I need to pay attention to. So this is my budget for the next month. I have a total of like $2,708 that I'm working with. So these are all of my fixed expenses: rent, utilities, phone, internet, health insurance, etc., etc. And that comes to $1,585. And then my variable expenses: groceries, personal spending, my dog's like treats and stuff, food, gas, and my lawn. There's a guy that does my lawn. Cost me about $15 every time he does my lawn. I'm very fortunate with that. Very small place here. So those come to $480. And then I have these sinking funds. Now, I've heard people say that you don't really need to have a lot of sinking funds. So I might have, I don't know, more than some people do, but I have found that if I don't save the money for things like, my AAA membership, I put $4 away every time I get paid so that at the end of the year, that money is there. I used to, just wait until it came due and then figure it out. And then I would be shorting something else because when it comes due, it's $100 or whatever, as opposed to just $4 every week. So I have an envelope for most things that I can think of. Every time, other things do come up, but at least I'm prepared when, those annual things come along. So I have things like my car insurance, pet care is, for like flea and tick and heartworm preventative and what have you, and vets, obviously. I have flood insurance, car registrations, car registration. I live in a mobile home, so I also have I have to register my mobile home here in Florida. It gets registered like a vehicle. Car maintenance, home maintenance, different subscriptions I have, like Netflix and that kind of thing. My emergency fund and medical fund. And then that leaves me with $213. And then I have smaller categories here, like loose change for this channel. I'm budgeting $10 a month so I can buy a savings challenge now and then, or join a membership for somebody's YouTube channel and help support other people the best I can with that. And then I have hobby, gifts, and Teresa. Now, Teresa just got some money in her envelope, so I have zero here. I have zero for gifts because that got money from savings challenges too. And hobby, I'm not putting anything in that yet until I finish paying off the medical bill that I'm working on, which next month, my next pay period, will finish paying that off. Then I'm going to start putting some money into my hobby envelope because, right before I broke my wrist and had surgery, about, a month before that, I had taken up learning how to play the saxophone. And then, when I broke my wrist, I couldn't even pick my saxophone up. So now I can actually press the keys and stuff. So I would like to see if I can get back into lessons with that. And, it was great fun. So after the $10 for loose change, that leaves me $203 in the month that I can put into different savings challenges and the games and group play. And, then I can boost my priority sinking funds, which, has to be my car maintenance and my dogs, because I have one dog is 14 years old, and she's going to be requiring a little bit more vet care than normal coming up, my house, and my emergency fund. So I plan to allocate much of my savings to those categories so I can stay on top of that because, I like surprises, but only the good ones. So anyway, that is my budget for this month. And what I do, I will, things like car insurance and the flood insurance and things like that, I do have a separate savings account that I've been putting money into a separate savings account. So, because I pay those, my car insurance is every 6 months, my flood insurance is annual. So, for example, I've been putting some cash and some in the bank for my car insurance. So I have these little in the bank things. I have $200 in the bank to go towards my car insurance right now, and I also have $250 in this envelope at the moment, so some more of that has to go in the bank. I like to have cash in the bank and some cash at home, so I don't keep all of these. All of my regular monthly bills get paid out of my bank account. But things like this, the annual and semi-annual things, I like to keep cash around in the safe here. So, because what if something happens if I can't access my bank account, or something it just makes me feel better to know that I have cash that I can put my hands on and not have to rely on the banking system. So I am going to be making a few more envelopes. I don't have an envelope for hobby yet, and I do a little bit of investing through Robinhood. So I haven't started an envelope for that yet, and maybe I will, so that I can assign some savings challenges to that too. Every month I put a little bit of money into my Robinhood account and invest it and see how that can grow. So that's a quick run through of my budget. I don't have credit card debt like that. Now, I am retired, and what happened was I used to be in a lot of debt. I had credit card debt and the like, and then I was in a long-term relationship, and that ended kind of suddenly, which left me alone to pay, all of the expenses. I was on my own then. And that was right when I was retiring. So what I did, I used to live in upstate New York. I sold my house and almost all of my belongings, and I paid off all of my debt, and I moved to Florida, and I paid cash for this mobile home, so I have no mortgage. I don't have credit card debt. I could not maintain the house in New York by myself. So I have a friend who lives down here, and she talked me into moving to Florida, which I've always wanted to move back to Florida anyway, because I lived here when I was a kid. But anyway, I don't have debt that I'm working on. But now I do have a lower income, because now that I'm retired, I am on Social Security, and I have a small pension, and I have a couple little side things that I do, and I have been selling some things. So I'm also looking to reduce some of my bills. I talked about this once before. I think this month I'm going to change my phone carrier to lower that bill. And so that's why I feel like I have to write every single penny down on my budget and really know where everything is, because even though I've been here for 2 years now, I'm still adjusting to, I used to have a side job, or one or two side jobs that I could always just go work more and make more money if there was something else that I wanted, which I still could do. And I probably will, because, it's kind of tight. But that's okay, because now I'm getting the hang of this, and a lot of the things that I like to do are really close to me. I can drive to the beach in 10 minutes, and a lot of things are outside things that I like to do. They don't cost me a lot of money. And meanwhile, I can save for bigger things that I want to do. Like I saved up for my saxophone and sax lessons before that all started. And then that got put on hold. But that's life, right? So anyway, that's my story. And thank you so much for watching. If you've watched this whole thing, I really appreciate it. And like I said in the beginning, if you have any tips, tricks, feedback, whatever, feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And remember, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just be kind to one another. Bye.